Alright guys, this is the first real video of the channel. I'm recording these back to back, so if you saw the hi, I'm here video, you're gonna see this one. This is the same exact moment. This video is really about the title, which is I don't want to go back home ever. You see this view? I don't have this view at home, okay? I actually was born in a beautiful place in Portugal. Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot throughout the videos. I was born in a very beautiful place in Portugal called Sintra, which has big forests, castles, palaces, whatever, and really nice waves for the surfers out there. But changing my environment and changing my place was very important for me. Okay, you don't know my journey yet, but let me tell you some stories. Okay, when I was 18, before finishing high school, I was on my last year, right? On the last day of school, instead of being there and playing with everyone and enjoying my last day of high school, I just jumped on a plane to work abroad in Switzerland. Okay, because we in Portugal don't get that much money from working. The wage is very low, so I wanted to go abroad and get a bigger wage. So from being a kid, I already knew that changing my environment and leaving home, leaving the nest was important. And this is the topic of this video. Changing your environment, okay? First things first, you have to think what is your position right now. So you may be living with your parents, maybe you have a wife and kids already. That's so nice from you. But some people, and a lot of you, they don't experience enough things for you to really know what you want. So what I'm trying to say is, bro, I never went to Brazil before until this year, and when I came here I fell in love with it because it's sunny, and when it's rainy it's still hot, it's still good temperature, it's not freezing cold like it was at my place in Portugal. So bro, just these little things, just the good people are awesome here. They hug you and they receive you as one of them. The food's great, the food's cheap, everything's actually cheap. The weather's great, and when you start living some more stuff, you start seeing, whoa, why am I stuck in Portugal? Why am I stuck in a place where fog and rain always comes in, even in the summer? Then you start mentalizing that and saying, yo, it's okay, I would go to Paradise or Indonesia or whatever, but I'll be away from family, I'll be away from everyone. And usually people think that's a bad thing, but what I bring here today is another vision of that. Going away is actually pretty good usually, because it's very simple to understand, especially if you have the same experience as me. When growing up and still today, every decision I make is talked about. So if I take my hair off, if I let my hair grow, if I start speaking English, if I start speaking Portuguese from Portugal, Portuguese from Brazil, everyone has something to say about the things I do, and usually it's something bad, okay? So I've always lived with the weight of other people's opinions, and once you go away, once you're out of there, once you're on the other side of the ocean and no one can reach you, you're starting to understand, wait, maybe all that weight I had on my shoulders because everyone had something to say about me, maybe it's not that heavy. Or maybe it's heavy, but it doesn't have to be on my shoulders. Maybe it's on the shoulders of Alex back home. Have you ever thought about that? when you travel, even if your dad, your mom, your neighbor is boring and keeps calling you, after you get free from the call, you like feel it. You start seeing the environment. You start feeling good about it because all the weight you carried from home is starting to get rinsed off by the new environment. Of course, you can change your environment to something worse. You can go from the Brazil and go live in the UK, for example. For every Brazilian living in the UK, they're gonna say, "Yo, I miss Brazil." They like the money, they like the new quality of life, but they miss Brazil for the good stuff, like the good vibes, the good weather, the good food. When they go to the UK, they don't have any of that, and that's a really complex game. But what I'm saying is, if you live constantly worried about what others think, first things first, we gotta work on that. Okay, we gotta work on you stop believing what others say. Because if someone says, "Yo, you should change your career," and another guy says, "Yo, you should stay in your career and grow inside your current career," what are you gonna do if you like them both equally and if you trust them both equally? You're gonna do nothing. And that always happens if you start thinking. Everyone says A, everyone says B, and there's no C option, and there's nothing you can do, so you stay shut. Like you don't do nothing. You let life ragdoll you because you didn't take action. And when you go off, when you disappear, or when you find new environments, you're gonna start feeling that you can take action, that you don't need to hear other people's opinions, so that you can have your own opinions, you can study your stuff, you can take criticism as a good thing instead of a bad thing. When I started this project, Alex of All Trades, I've heard people saying, "Yo, that's the best idea, it finally clicked, yo, you're gonna grow so much, you're gonna scale your business, yada yada yada." But I've had people saying, I don't know, it doesn't seem good, I don't know. What if I take both opinions and throw them out the window and say, screw that? That's the point. Okay? And let's say I make a decision. If that decision ends up being good, then I learned it. If that decision ends up being bad, then I learned it. And following A or B's opinion is not gonna change the fact that let me double down on this idea and let me see if it works. Let me see if I can learn something from it. You see, when you start paying attention to everyone, that buzz, that noise, you do nothing. You let life take you. And that's the worst thing ever. I've let life take me before, and like this, 6 months go by, a year goes by, and you don't know what you did. You did something, of course. You went to university, you started your business, whatever. But since you were so involved in the noise, you don't actually know what you're doing, and you are not actually learning anything from it. So, the point of this video is, you want to grow up? I don't care if you're 30 or 40. You want to grow up even more? Try changing the environment. Go for a season anywhere. Of course, if you have wife and children, that's a big decision. But I did it, and it's one of the best things I've done. Coming to Brazil, even on the rainy days, when I arrived it rained every day. Even the rainiest of days in Brazil was better than the sunniest of days in Portugal. And that should be something very important. If you guys want to see my daily life, what I've been doing throughout the day, you go follow my Instagram, and you can shoot me up a DM if you need any help. Okay? If you want to book a call for you to grow and scale across 4 pillars: the body, the social, the money, and the aesthetics. If you want to have a one-on-one mentorship with me, we're going to make sure you achieve your goals in whatever lane you want. DM me Weaponize, or you can book a call on the link in the bio. See you guys in the next one.